This is Mona West, and today I'm going to show you how to make this earring. This is part 2 of the Victoria Regina series, and in part 1 I showed how to make the component that is going to be the star of the show. It's going to be what each of these projects is made with. It is a square of cubic right angle weave, and today I'm going to use that to make this earring. It has the square up at the top, and then there's an oval down below, and it has some Swarovski crystals in it too. So let's get started, and we'll begin by talking about what supplies you'll need. Okay, for this project you will need some number 11 seed beads. What I'm using is Starlight permanent galvanized Toho beads. And then you'll need just 2 number 15s. If you don't have them, you can probably squeeze in an 11. The 15 just fit a little better. And so these are also Starlight permanent galvanized Toho beads. Then you need some contrasting color of either seed beads, or I'm using Delicas here actually, and these are number 11 transparent silver lined ruby red Delica beads. Then you will also need 2 6mm Bicones. These are Siam, and they're Swarovski. And then you will need some kind of a pendant. There's really a lot of leeway in what you could use. These are 18mm Siam Swarovski crystal teardrop fancy stone. And these are the settings that are specifically for these. These are they're gold plated. You could use most any kind of teardrop, and it does not need to be something that goes into a setting like this. It could simply be a pendant with a hole at the top. Whatever works for you, whatever you like, or whatever you have. If you do use these, you will need 2 of the settings, and these are the gold plated. I am going to use a post earring for this. Since the earring is quite large, I wanted something pretty minimal at the top. So this is just a post earring, and then it has the loop here for your beads and your thread to go through. You could use another kind if you prefer. This is quite a large earring though, so that's kind of why I was going for the minimal look. And then in addition, of course, you will need a beading thread and a needle. I am using a number 12 needle, and I am using, because I'm working with the gold here, I am using this thread purely because it is this nice beige color that really disappears well. It's Nozu Sunoku. It's not ideal for cubic right angle weave because it is a bit soft and has a little stretch to it, but I originally made the earring up with black thread. Let me show you that. And this is what it looked like, and to me you could just really see, I mean, this is kind of my original piece, so it's not in very good condition anyway, but to me there was just too much black showing here. I really prefer it with the beige thread. I think that looks a lot better, but it is a bit on the soft side, so use whatever you feel works best for you. To make the earrings, you will also need 2 of the square components from the first video in this series as the basis for the earring. So the only thing you need to watch out for is you need to make sure that you are working in such a way that this is face up, so that when you add your red beads that you have them coming off of this side, and so that you have red going around here, and you don't accidentally get maybe the red from the oval component on this side. And the other thing you need to watch for is just to make sure that your bicone is running this way, not sideways. I guess you could do it that way if you chose to, but the way I developed it is for the bicone to be up and down. Okay, so let's get started on making the oval. So I'm going to pick up 3. So we're going to go back through stitch 1, then go through bead 2, pick up 2 more beads, go through bead 2, go through bead 3, pick up 2 more beads, go through bead 3, okay, so now we are doing side 4. So we're going to go through the base, stitch 4, up the side, and now we're going to pick up our red Delica, go down, and through stitch 4 of the base, or bead 4 of the base, back up, and now we're going to go through all the beads, the 4 beads on the top. There's 2, 3, and 4, and back through bead 1. Okay, and so this is what we've got. Now we're going to continue this just like we did in the square, except this is even easier because you don't have to worry about making the sides. You're just going to make one long piece that at the end we're going to connect here. But it's just a straight piece. So let me show you one more time how this is going to go. Pick up 3, go through the first bead of your base, go through bead 2, pick up 2 beads, and go back through bead 2, go through bead 3, pick up 2 more beads, go down through bead 3, I've got my thread caught around here. Here we go. Now back through your base bead, which is bead 4. Alright, I have completed my 17 units of craw, and so now I am going to take and attach the second side of this oval or teardrop shape like this. So I need to again find that center bead. I'll be this one right here. We use this to begin this strip, and now I'm using it again to attach the second side. So I am going to be working with this square right here. So I'm going to be starting on the outside, so you need to have your thread coming out of this side here. And then I'm going to do the same as we did when we were finishing the square. I'm going to pick up a bead, and I'm going to triple check that I'm coming out of the right place. Okay, this is the inner bead, and we want the outer bead here, so I put one bead on. I'm going to pull that up snug, pick up a second bead, and now I am going to again go back through that same bead that I came out of on the top. and pull it snug. So it's kind of a tenuous connection at this point, but it is a connection. And so now we're going to again go around and complete each face of the bead. Next, I'm going to connect the front face, so I'm going to go through the red Delica. I'm going to add a bead, and now I'm going to go through the corresponding bead at the top. I'm adding a bead, and now I'm going to go through the corresponding bead at the top. Pull it tight. Okay, so now I am going to go through this bead here, and that'll get me to the back. And now I have one bead missing in here, so I'm going to get myself in position. Go through the top bead, the bead on this side, the lower bead, now I'll pick up the fourth bead, which is going to go right in here. So I'm going to go back through my top bead. Okay, and now I'm going to go back through that so that I can go to the inside. And on the inside, I'm going to go through the beads, these beads here, to close up that square. All the beads are there, I just need to connect them to each other. So I won't be adding beads, I'll just be connecting beads. Okay, so there's the side bead. Here is the top bead, right there. And here is my other side bead. And now I'll go through the bottom bead again and pull it all together. Okay, so there we have the teardrop all ready to go. So next we are going to put in the teardrop, which I have here. I've already put it in its setting, and I've also put some glue inside to kind of help in addition. There are 2 holes on each side, here and here. Same on the other side, and that's how we attach it inside. So I need to figure out how many beads down I need to go. So I'm going to put this is awkward. Let me put this in here, and that's how it'll look. Now I need to look and see where the holes are going to come out. Okay, it looks like my hole is going to be right here. So I need to go down to this bead. This one here. So that is 1, 2, 3. Between the 3rd and the 4th Delica. So I'm going to weave my way down there. And of course, if you are using something other than one of these fancy teardrop shapes, then that is what you will be using. So the size of your drop may be different depending on the size of what you're using. If it has a hole in the top, actually your construction will be quite easy. You'll add a couple of 11 or 15 beads, size beads to your needle, and then you'll go through the top of your teardrop, add a few more, and go through this side again, and you'll want to do that a couple of times. Get my thread straightened out. All right, I think I'm in about the right place, so let's try again. Looks like one more and I will be there. Okay, so I am going to go through this one, down through this one, and then I want the inside bead. I want to be using an inside bead, not one out here on the edge. So I'm going to go down into this middle one, and that is where I'm going to attach my teardrop. So I turned it over onto its back, and now I am going to go, make sure I have it oriented correctly, through the top hole, and now I'm going to go from the inside to the outside through here, and then I'm going to look at what position I need to be in. All right, so I'm go enter here, come out here, and I look straight down to see what the closest bead is to that in the middle, and that'll be this bead right here. So I'm going to go through, and I'm not pulling it super tight yet because I want to be able to take a look at this, because I'm going to go through it several times. All right, so I'm going to weave my way from up here down to there again. Down through this hole. Flip it on its back. And now I'm going to enter this through the bottom hole. And exit through the top hole. And then I am going to go through the same bead that I did before for the top hole. And now I'm going to pull it tight. Next step is to get over to the other side so that I can do the same thing there. And I'm just looking at what will probably be the fastest way to do that. I'm just going to weave my way around. And this time I'm going to go as far as the lower hole in the setting, since that is closest to me. So now that I'm over on this side, I'm going to check how far I need to go to get to that hole. There's the hole right there, so I need to go up about 2 more units. There's 1. Through the middle bead here. Okay, and I am in about the right place now. So I am going to go turn it over. I'm just putting my needle through empty space here, just to get it on the right side. And now I'm going to go through the inner, or the lower hole, up through the upper hole. Now, just as we did on that first side, I'm not going to get it too tight yet. I'm going to look for those middle beads that I can use to go through. And it looks like this is at about the right place. And now I'm going to weave my way down to this second hole. Now I'm in a pretty good position, so I'm going to go through this middle bead. Now that I'm almost done with the second side, it's getting a little, the workspace is getting a little tighter. But I'm still not pulling this real tight yet because I do want to make sure I can get through. Alright, now I'm going to go in that lower hole for the second time, and then out through the upper hole also for the second time. And at this point now, I pull everything tight. But you notice I'm holding on to this, I'm not just pulling, so that nothing gets distorted. Okay, now it's in there pretty securely. So now for our last step, I'm going to weave my way up to the top because the only thing that we have left is to put on our earring post. Alright, I have woven my way up to the top and I have my post, so now I'm ready. If you look at this on the front, you may not be able to see this where you are, you may have to take my word for it, but there is a hole right here that is kind of in the middle of this section of 4 beads, and that's what I'm going to be working from. Here it is on the back. You can see here is the right angle weave unit there, and I'm coming out of the top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up 2 beads, 2 number 11s. And now the really important thing is to make sure that you have this oriented the right way. This is the back of the earring, so you want the post to be facing the back. So here are the earring and the post. And here's the hole in the post down here. So I've added 2 beads. I'm going to go through my needle. I'm going to go through the opening in the post with my needle and then pull it down. And then I'm going to go to the front. I'm going to pick up 2 more beads. And I am going to go, let's see how to describe this. I am going to go through that hole in the front. Okay, and so now I have the post. It's really wobbly here, so it's hard to show you. Here's it kind of from the side. I have the post in the middle and 2 beads in the front and 2 beads in the back. And so now what I need to do is just really reinforce this. So to reinforce it, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these top 4 beads. And I'm doing this just to provide some additional strength so that all of the stress and the strain isn't on just this hole or this top bead, but that it's kind of distributed between beads. Okay, I'm going to go through the last of the 4 beads there. Now I am in position. I'm going to go up through the 2 beads we added to go through the hole in the earring finding. I'm going to go through the hole itself. Which isn't hard to do, it's just hard to do it in a way that I can show you. Okay, and this is again the post facing back towards me. There we go. I go through the hole in the middle. Be careful not to get wrapped around things because you've got a lot of stuff going here. Now I'm going to turn it over so I'm facing forward. I'm going to go down through the 2 beads we added in the first step of adding the earring post. And now I'm going to go around these top 4 beads just as we did in the back. So I've gone through 2 of them here. Looks like I got wrapped around. And now I'm going to go through the last 2. One there. And the top one. And I can already feel that this is getting much firmer. Alright, now one last time. We're going to go up the 2 beads we added with the post, through the hole in the post, to the back. And then I'm going to go down the 2 beads that we added with the post. So now we have 3 layers of thread through here, and we've secured it a number of different ways. So all that is left is to tie off your thread. Okay, so here is our finished earring. You can make the mate to it and you'll have a very glamorous set of earrings. Next up, I think I'm going to make a bracelet using these same colors and the squares. So I look forward to seeing you again. Happy beading!